Was looking at the study recently published in JAMA focusing on persistent versus non-persistent autism spectrum disorder. Now, what this study was looking at specifically was children who met diagnostic criteria for autism spectrum disorder between the ages of 12 months and 36 months. And it was looking to see if these children still met the diagnostic criteria for autism spectrum disorder between the ages of 5 to 7 years old. So the sample size was 213, and their findings were that out of these 213 children, 37% did not meet the diagnostic criteria for autism spectrum disorder between the ages of 5 to 7 years old. Now, I'll let you guys know that non-persistent autism spectrum disorder is a new term for me. I was not aware that there was a school of thought that said that some children who were diagnosed with autism as toddlers would no longer be autistic as they got older. So I was not familiar with that term. In addition to that, we really have to consider how masking comes into play, how fluctuation of support needs come into play, because we have to be careful not to remove services, accommodations, resources, healthcare coverage, because then if those support needs are higher down the line, that child won't have the appropriate things in place to help them. The other question becomes, is this study reproducible? So there were 213 children in this particular study. So if we took this study and we did it again with a larger population of children in multiple environments, would we get the same results? The other thing we want to know is this sample pool of children a representation of all of the autistic toddlers in the entire population? Because if not, those findings could be skewed. So at the present time, I have more questions than answers. My hope is that this study does not cause clinicians to do the wait and see approach and wait to have that child evaluated over the age of 3 years old. Because if that's done, then that closes the window for early intervention. And speaking of early intervention, the children in this study had early intervention. A large portion of them had ABA. So, we know that, whether you have, certain feelings concerning ABA or not, when we talk about early intervention as a whole, we know that children progress when they receive early intervention. And that progression does not mean that they are no longer autistic. So we'll just have to continue to follow this and, look for the additional studies and see if this changes guidelines or the way we look at autism. Hopefully, all of the children will continue to get the services and the care that they need throughout the course of their entire life.